This spring meal will include zucchini ribbons, sunflower vegetable balls, sweet tomato sauce, and sauteed carrots with collard greens. I'll start by centering myself, taking a few deep breaths, taking in the vitality and the joy and renewal of the spring season. Mentally inviting those who will share with me this meal. Come join me, friends, and share my feast of joy. So let's prepare now a feast of joy. So I'll start by making the vegetable nut balls, and these are a delicious substitute to meatballs. So we are going to use the oven, but first, before that, we're going to grind sunflower seeds with some onion, celery, and garlic. So first, we start with 1.5 cups of sunflower seeds. Put them in here, and you want to start with the sunflower seeds to grind them first, because if you're going to add the onion right from the start, they will become too moist and it will be hard to grind them. So I'll just do a little bit more. Okay, add the onion to it. And start do that. Adding garlic, 1 clove. And the last one, this is about 1 stalk of celery without the leaves. We chopped it. Okay, need to help it a little bit, move things around. Again, the garlic really strong, even though it's just 1. That's all. Now, the other part, we do use some eggs here in order to bind it all together. So I will be using 2 eggs. 1 and 2. See how beautiful. It's hard to help how beautiful the yellow goes with the green. So I'll just beat them up a little bit, the eggs. To that, to the 2 eggs, we'll add 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley. Love greens. Different shades of greens are beautiful. Put this here. And to that, well, we're adding about 1 cup of breadcrumbs. And the last part is we're adding some salt to it, 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, so I'll mix this together, and to it I will add the sunflower seed that I ground with the onion. I think I was almost crying just because it wasn't the garlic, it's more the onion. It was very potent, very fresh. Okay, so this is our mixture. Open that. Take the blade out carefully. And add all of this here. Great. All right. So mix this all together, and then we'll form this into small balls, and then we'll bake it. So you see, you don't want it to be too moist. You want it to be able to form balls with it, that they hold the shape together. So then we can bake them. That's all. So I think this is good. So I will clean up a little bit, and I will bring the baking tray, and then I'll show you how to form the balls, and then we can bake it. So now I'm ready to prepare the vegetable nut balls. I have my baking tray. I put parchment paper, and I will put a little bit oil because I don't want it to stick to it. And just brush it. Okay, so here is the consistency of the nut balls, and you don't want it to be too wet, but you want to be able to form small balls. Can be about 1.5 inch in diameter or something like that. So you can do it with your hand, or if that's easier for you, you can take ice cream scooper, and let's try that. That will create more uniform shape of the ball. So I kind of press it in, and that's another way to do that. Now you can make it round, or what I found, you see how this is mine at the beginning, and this is with the ice cream scooper. What I found that when I bake it, halfway through, you want to turn it, and if it's a ball, it's hard to turn it and make it even, baked evenly from all parts of it. So just pressing it a little bit, that helps. So it won't be exactly a ball, but then you just have to turn it once. Okay, so let me try again. What happened here is didn't press it enough into the scooper, so when it came out, it was a little, let's see here. Okay, so at least what you can do is first get it and then kind of press it down and get the same shape for all. Okay, so you know, as you do it, it gets easier. Can you hear the oven? I just get up to the 375 degrees, and you want a little bit a little bit distance between the bowls. And then we'll make a nice sweet tomato sauce to go along with the bowls. Okay, so it's getting better and better. Just a little patience as you work with this. Here it is. So I'll show you a few more, and then so you just get the point. So again, you can do it by hand, or you can do with the ice cream scooper. I'll just do one more for you to see. So this is what we're doing. So I will now give you a little break. I will finish it and I'll show you the end results. So here are the vegetable nut bowls. As I said, I used a scooper, and these made 15. And you can make them smaller. So if you make them small, it will be half the size, and maybe the traditional nut bowl are much smaller, and you can make it round. Or you can make a little bigger, as I said, using ice cream scooper. And I have used sunflower seeds, and you can use instead, if you like, equal amount of walnuts. So let me just press it down. As I said, this will make it a little bit easier to turn them halfway. I'm baking it at 375. The total time is about 45 minutes. So after about 20 minutes, I will check and I will flip them over to get them both sides cooked evenly, and a little bit kind of a little crust on the surface. So this is will be our nut bowls, and I will put it in the oven. Preheated it now. It's ready. 375. And put the timer. I'll put it now for 20 minutes. Okay. And then I will check halfway through and then put it for another 25 minutes. And while this is cooking, I will clean a little bit, and then we can start making the sweet tomato sauce that will go with the nut bowls. So now the vegetable nut bowls are baking, and we'll check them in about 8 minutes, and I'll start on the sweet tomato sauce. I will start by sauteing some onion. Onion and tomato go hand in hand. So it's about 2 tablespoons of sunflower oil. About. Heat up a little bit. And to that, we'll add about half a cup of minced onion. With a little bit, a pinch of Celtic salt. So I will let the onion saute and soften and get a little bit golden. And meanwhile, while this is happening, I will prepare the tomato. We want soft tomatoes. If you can get it, we want about 1.5 cups of minced tomato. So I have a little bit. I'm having here the equipment to take out, scoop out the core of the tomato, and I will cut the tomato. Now we're going to blend it. But what we want to do is to cut the tomato small, and then we will mix it with the onion, saute it a little bit, add a few other ingredients to it. So it will be very flavorful before we blend it. So don't need to cut it to really small. Let's see what we have here. Probably need another tomato. One more. Love that. It's just so efficient how it scoop out this. You know that sometimes there are tools that just work so well. This is one of them. So, we check here. It's going well. Turn the heat a little bit down. And cutting the tomatoes. As you can see, I'm using a serrated knife. Sometimes it's easier to work with. Cut these. So 2 medium-sized tomatoes will be fine. I think that will make about 1.5 cup here. Yes. Okay. So we'll add the tomato to the onion. So I will stir it in and fold the tomatoes so they're being coated with the onions. Just a little bit, like to golden them a little bit more without burning them. And then I will add some water to the mixture, about 1/2 cup of water. I will bring it to a boil and then I will simmer it. Once it's boiling, I will add some vegetable broth. I think I learned it also from Italian cook. Of course, they never have recipes, so you have to figure it out yourself. See, it start to brown the edges. This is good. Add the tomatoes. Turn the heat up. Fold them with the onion for flavor. Add 1/2 cup of water. The heat is up, high heat. Will be a quick boil here. And then we will add here about 1 teaspoon of powdered vegetable broth and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. And I will add it in a minute. And then I will turn the heat down after it boils and I will simmer it for about 5 minutes. And I will blend it in a blender. Then we'll add, before we blend, we'll add some salt and some pepper. And that will be our wonderful tomato sauce. Let's see. It's starting to boil, I can see on the edge. Let's move this. Full boil before adding the veggie broth. This is good. All right. Add this. Mix it in for flavor. Turn it down a little bit adding the lemon juice, 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Gives it a nice flavor, nice balance. The lemon and the maple syrup. Can't go wrong with that. We added everything. Turn it down. And I will simmer it for about 5 minutes. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn the burner here to low, move this, and turn this off. And we're almost ready to pull out the nut balls. So let me move this. Throw everything away so you can see. Okay. Move this. Okay. So now, almost ready. I will pull out the nut balls in 20, almost, so this was about a minute. So I know that after that I'll put another 4 minutes for the tomato, all calculating in my head, and about another 20 minutes will be later, well, after I put the nut balls back in the oven. So here we are. We just put here and pull that out. So here are the nut balls, right from the oven. And let me see if this is ready to be turned. Yes, it is. See? So when you flatten them, it's easier than you just have to turn them once. Of course, I've tried it before and I did it round and it didn't work so well. Turn them. It's wonderful. Great. Okay. I'll put it back in the oven. Nice and hot. Okay, so now what I will do, I have 2.5 minutes here. I will turn the tomato sauce off, and then I'll put another about 20 minutes for the nut balls to finish baking. So that's that, and then we will blend the tomato sauce. So now the tomato sauce is ready to be blended. I want to show you. I simmered it only for 5 minutes. See how beautiful this is? Really all came together well. And we'll add to it now about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And you can just grind fresh black pepper, but it's just adding a little bit of it. You can always add more later if you want. Mix that in. And we will go into the blender. Bring the blender closer here. Try to do it without spilling. Try. With a smile. Okay. Get it all in here. Good. Did it. Okay. So we'll blend it until it's smooth. So I'll pour it here. Now, I did not blend this, but you see this yellow? It matches the sauce. That is a miracle. So I'll pour it in here to this lovely bowl. Okay, here we go. Cover this here. So let me taste that lovely sauce. Just a little bit. Delicious. You will love the sauce. And this with the nut balls that have about 7.5 minutes will be wonderful. So this is our wonderful tomato sauce. And now we move on to the next dish. So now I will saute the collard greens with the carrots, but first I want to show you the sunflower balls. Not exactly balls, we flattened the balls, but wanted to see how it came out. Here they are. You see, they're nice golden brown. And they are ready, and we have also the sweet tomato sauce ready. We're halfway through the meal. Okay, making it. Okay, turn the oven off. The oven cooled so I can put it back in. I will use my cast iron skillet, and I'll start by sauteing 2 carrots. So they are peeled, and I want to show you how I'm going to cut them. I like different shapes. I'm going to use some sunflower oil first, but I'm just do diagonal, thin slices. See? So those carrots were thin enough so I didn't have to cut them in half in order to create those nice diagonal shape. So I will start by heating cast iron skillet, and I'll start by using sunflower oil, about 2 tablespoons. Basically I will cover it a little bit, maybe a little bit more. Okay, so I will add the carrots now into that. A little bit Celtic salt. It will soften and help the carrots get a little bit more soft as they saute. I will cover. And meanwhile, preparing the collards. So already cut the stems. I usually use 4 big collards for about 3 or 4 people. But since they're very small collards, I'm going to use 6. So I'm preparing them. And here are 2 that I didn't cut. Just cut the stems off. I'm not going to use that for this dish. You can use the stems for making stock for the soup. You can cook it with water and then throw the stems. So the water will become greenish and get the nutrients from the stems. So the way I do it, I stack them one on top of the other. And then I'm rolling them. It's like this. And I'm just going to make strips. I learned it from, this is a Portuguese way of cutting collards. Sharing the feast of joy. Find creative ways to bring joy into your cooking. You have to redo this. Thin strips. Wonderful. See? This will go nicely with the zucchini ribbons. You can hear the carrots. Move this here so you can see. So all I will do is saute the carrots, give them an early start because they take a little bit longer than the collards. Then adding the collard greens, I'm going to add a little bit olive oil, which add a wonderful flavor, and another pinch of salt. And then I will cover and simmer it for about 5 minutes until the collards are soft. You might need to add a little bit water to steam the collards. So I think this is good. Still like to have a little crunch of the carrots. Add them in, just on top. Spread them. A little bit Celtic salt right on top. About 2 tablespoons of olive oil, just like that. Turn the heat a little bit down, and I will simmer them for about 5 minutes. Halfway through, I will watch to see if I need to add a little bit of water. And that's it for the carrot and collard dish. We have the last dish to make, which will be the fun zucchini ribbons. So our last dish is zucchini ribbons. This is a fun and quick dish to make, and it's delicious. So in this dish, I will use 3 green zucchinis and yellow squash, and you don't want to get the one that are the crook neck. You want to get as much straight squash as possible, and you'll see in a minute why. So how do we do that? I'm going to do it in the simplest way. I will create ribbons from every one of them. So I'm using a wide, if you can just use a wide peeler, and the first one I'll just I'm taking the peel off. I'm not going to use that. And now, coming from the center, that's the ribbon that I would like to use. See? Put it right here. So I keep going in the same way. So I like to have those strips, very thin strips. When you see the green? So you keep going like this until you start seeing the seeds. Okay? I think I will stop right here. And now I will turn to the other side and take off the first layer. I'm not going to use that. Okay? It's kind of fun, creative. The joy of cooking. Having fun. Just got it right from, so I chop the ends first, okay? And then I just have a grip with the peeler right here and try to get it all the way. Okay? Got the seeds. This is done. So I use this. I usually chop this and use it in a stir fry or something like that. This is done. I'm going to do one more to show you. I'm going to use a yellow, maybe this one. Okay. So peeling the first 2 layers because there was a little thicker peel. And again, so this creates kind of a fun combination of colors, the yellow and the green. Okay, almost reached here. I'm going to turn it to the other side And first take, you see how this is thicker? So I'm going to take this, not using that. And now I'm creating the ribbons. So this is the simplest ways to create ribbons from the zucchini and the squash. Okay, see this, I went a little further, but you can see when you see the seeds, it's done. Now some people might turn it this way, and then we can try it and get a little bit more. Okay, it's just going to be a little thinner, and you can get more ribbons here. Okay, it's just going to be not as wide as the, so you can get it. Okay, now I'm going to turn to the last one. Take this off first. Yeah, so you can do working like a square, and you go 4 sides. No, those are not as pretty, but let's just create the ribbons. The other one has the yellow ends. Okay, so here it is. I'll get the other one back. I'm going to resurrect him and take the first layer off. Try to see if I can get this. Okay, so you can get more. So some will have, I like the greens at the ends. Take this off first. So either way, I'm just showing you the different options of using the ribbons. Depends how perfect you want it. Okay, one more. Okay, that's it. So this is 2. I used 2, one zucchini, one the yellow squash, and it's beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and then I'll show you how to saute it. So now we have all our zucchini ribbons ready to be sauteed. And when you saute it, you want to divide them. So here you can I divided, right now it's 2, but it's going to be 3. So this will be the first batch, because what you're going to do is heat up the oil, which I will do now. You can use olive oil, or you can use butter. I'm going to use olive oil, just a healthy version of fat. About 2 tablespoons. Turn this on. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that in, and for 2 or 3 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more, it depends. You want to kind of fold it with the oil and let the strips soften. I'll add a little bit salt and a little bit black pepper. And that's it. Since the zucchini strips are so thin, you don't want to saute it for very long, otherwise they will collapse, okay, and they will break, and you want to avoid that. So this is a very gentle sauteing. So I will add it now. That's why you work with small batches. Okay, I think that will be good. Medium high heat. Move this so you can see everything. And I actually gonna try to use 2 wooden spoons. Okay, you see how I'm folding it with the oil? You might need to add a little bit more. Try not to break the ribbons. Okay, add a little bit. I'm adding sea salt because this is fast. The sea salt will soften the ribbons. It's so beautiful. It's God's creation. It's always so incredible. I think I'm going to lower the heat a little bit black pepper. And almost done from the first batch. I can feel it through the wooden spoons that they are softened. Otherwise, see, if I'm going to do a little bit more, they will collapse. So I will take that out, put it right here. And continue with the next batch. And then at the end, we'll just show you what I'm going to do. A little bit parsley and a little bit of dill. And this is a wonderful substitute to pasta. So I will keep doing the rest. This is for you to look at. I will continue to saute it, and then we're ready to serve the meal. So this is our feast of joy for springtime. We have our zucchini ribbons, we have our carrots and collards, we have a lovely sweet tomato sauce with the baked nut balls. And this is just an inspiration for you. Spring is a time when all nature is full of vitality and beauty. We can bring those qualities into our cooking by creating a feast of colors. Using a variety of colors and textures is a way to bring balance and nutrition to your meals. And also, it's a lot of fun. So enjoy the feast of joy.